Hi, this is Catherine. This is Taking Tea with Catherine. This is Indigo Punch from Harney and Sons, and I made an iced tea version of it. I wanted to show you the color of it, but it's a little darker than I expected it to be. Thought it was going to be slightly bluer, but it's still kind of pretty, right? Because it has a, what's it called, the pea flower, which by itself just tastes okay, but it colors things a certain color. And then it has, this one has bits of fruit and I think rose hips and hibiscus, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought it's another good day for iced tea, so might as well do it. You might hear a little bit of noise. I still, the weather is a little nicer now. Still iced tea weather, but nice enough to have the window open for a little bit. So you might hear a little noise. You might not. It's kind of late. Anyway, so that is the tea for today. Very nice tea. So I'm going to do a haul, which I didn't expect to do so soon after my last one. But I'll tell you a little backstory of the place that I went to the other day, and then I'll tell you what I hauled. So sometimes if you watch my channel, if you've watched videos long enough, I will show you books that I bought at the New York Public Library when they had library sales near where I used to work in Midtown. I'm not that far from it still, but it used to be called the Mid-Manhattan Library. It had another name, and now it's got some other Stavros, Nyarkos, or something, I don't know. And it looks really nice and gleaming, etc. That's fine. But I approximately from 2006 to 2009, I used to go there with by myself or with my sister, because we used to both work at the same place, so we'd go at lunchtime sometimes. And we'd go to the library to borrow books anyway, and then they had the book sales. And I loved it because you can get some really good volumes and some like older books too, like modern library volumes and stuff for like $2. Some sets of things. I built up some of my Dickens and Trollope library, etc. there, and I had a great time. Reasonable prices, usually good condition books. And then one day they closed. Maybe it just wasn't worth it for them to keep it open, but I remember reading an article and it said something about how there were people who would show up really early and just like clean the place out and resell them online. I don't know. Maybe that was a problem, but I was sad when it closed, and I moved on like one does, because in that space of time, I also got these bookshelves, etc. And I already had a lot of books, but then I was able to fill them up, among other types of book purchasing that I did. That was a big contribution. And so after they closed, I found other ways. I mean, you've heard of my book off expeditions, and you've heard of other things. I don't need any new books. But nevertheless, at some point, I think late last year, I started reminiscing about those book sales. And so I Googled it to see if any other libraries still had those, once the library started opening again, at least some of the locations did. And I found there was a place in the Upper East Side called the Webster Library, and they had a thing called the Book Cellar, Cellar, in which they sell used books. And, people donate them, etc., and prices are pretty reasonable, and they have really nice social media for it, an Instagram page, is that what they call it, Instagram account, which is kind of like a bookstagram. So they were not open because of COVID, so it took them a really long time before they were able to reopen. But they kept the account up, so I would watch it every once in a while for, any news. And finally, they announced this month that they were going to reopen, and they did. So as soon as I could, I got over there. Because I really said, I know I don't need any books, but I just want to check out this place. And so when I got the opportunity, their hours are a little bit wonky, so it's not possible to go every time I want to go. I made it up there. And yeah, so it's called the Book Cellar, so it's a little bit downstairs in the library, and it's not bad. It doesn't have like, oh my goodness, every type of genre of book, that you can possibly imagine, but it does have a pretty good variety. The only thing I could say as I don't know about this criticism, but some spots in the book cellar are not very well lit. They're not like complete darkness, but when you want to browse for books, it's not always easy. And at least their classic section is like too deep, which I do too. Well, I don't know if you can see this here. If you look over here, most of these are trollops. In the back, there's more books, right? So I am a fan of that, obviously, but it's not as easy when you're browsing. It's not as easy when you're browsing, but I think it's not impossible. So, of course, I managed to get a decent haul of, well, some couple of classics and a couple classics, I think 3 nonfiction. Not bad. They also had a whole box of cowboy romances, so for any of you who are out there who like that sort of thing, now you know where to go. The other thing I have to say, it's not a criticism at all. It's just that they don't accept credit cards. So, expect to pay in cash or not at all. So, just a thing to know. Anyway, let me show you the bag with all the books in it. The bag, I think, was like $2. And I just thought it was so cute. Look at that. It's a cat that looks like Janie. And it says bookseller. And what does it say under here? Friends of Webster Library. So there it is. There's the address, in case you're looking for it. And let's look at the haul. It's not an unboxing. It's a little bit of an unbagging, right? I got 2 Victorian novels, which is good because I can never have enough Victorian novels. October is coming upon us soon. The first one I got, I've wanted to read for a long time. I read his book, The Odd Women, and liked it. Heard good things about this. This is George Gising's New Grub Street. And I think it has to do with journalism and everything in the, let's see, it's 1891, so the late Victorian era. And I think I've been looking forward to reading this for a long time. So when I saw it, I was like, yay! Then I got another one of my treasured Virago classics. And I think some of them are called Virago Modern Classics, I think. Oh, I can't reach over there. You see the green way over there? How am I going to make room for this one? I do not know. But this is Virago Classics. It's also Victorian. This is Mrs. Oliphant. Oliphant. I never know how to say that. I always sound like I'm saying elephant. Was it Oliphant? Chronicles of Carlingford, the Perpetual Curate. This is apparently part of a series, which I didn't realize when I got it. And I need to know if any of you watching that are familiar with her works. Does this need to be read in order, or I should say preferably should it be read in order like Anthony Trollope's Barchester Chronicles, or not? So I'll read you the description here. Frank Wentworth, perpetual curate of St. Roques, I don't know, has basked in the popularity of Carlingford, beloved in the gracious homes of Grange Lane and the slums of Wharfside alike. Good for him. But there are some among the sober-minded citizens who would see him as a dilettante Anglican, given over to floral ornaments and ecclesiastical upholstery, a verdict shared by the new rector, who regards the presence of a young, an energetic rival as an intolerable encumbrance. Imperceptibly, the tide starts turning against Frank Wentworth. Oh no, his love for Lucy Wodehouse is threatened by his lack of prospects. His evangelical aunts in charge of a family living disapprove of his high church ways, and rumors about a pretty shop girl begin circulating. Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Slowly it dawns on Frank that he may as well be doomed to a life of perpetual and single curacy. I really hope that doesn't spoil the entire book. Because that kind of sounds like it does. You know, they always say don't read the back of these things, but, oh well. So I think it sounds like it says here that these wonderful comedies with all the pleasures of the novels of Trollope have astonishingly been put out of print for most of the century. Yeah, it sounds a bit like a Trollope novel, which you know I'm very interested in. So I thought when I saw this book in the shop, I thought I don't have a lot of Mrs. Oliphant, but I know I have some of her things. And now I looked at my books, I don't seem to have any of them, and I'm trying to figure out, didn't I read one of her books? I am very confused. I'm like, maybe I just heard a lot about her during like Victober or something. Either way, I have this now, and maybe I could start reading her and getting to know her at some point. We'll see. So now we're getting into, some very Catherine things. And it wouldn't be complete without some, English books, right? I don't mean books written in the English language, because that's kind of obvious knowing me. But I mean, this book's about the English and British stuff, etc. This looks very much of a new book, but did I mention all but one of these books were $3 each, which isn't bad. So this is Harry Mount's How England Made the English. Almost sounds like I've read it, but I don't think I have. Because everything nowadays sounds like deja vu to me. From why we drive on the left to why we don't talk to our neighbors. Well, if I've read it, it sounds like something I enjoy reading again. I like the very British problems, stuff like that. I find it very relatable. This was written in 2012, so I don't think I read it, but you never know. I'm pretty sure from the way it's priced and from this little buy one, get one, I'm pretty sure this probably came from the UK, like it's a UK paperback. That somehow made its way over here, and I'm cool with that. It does. It really does look like that. It looks like something I would order from, like, what's it called? Book Depository or something. So that could be fun for me. Hopefully fun for you if I ever share it on BookTube. And here's another book that is up my alley. There's another one like, did I read this at some point? I might have, but I've read a lot of books around this subject, so anything's possible. This book was written in, sorry, I'm turning pages in camera. 2015, so if I did, I don't remember having read it. So this is The Lost Tudor Princess, the life of Lady Margaret Douglas, who I know a little bit about, like I mentioned, because she was a Tudor, kind of. Well, she was a Lost Tudor Princess. She was well liked at some point by Henry VIII. This is by Alison Weir, who I have quite a few of her books. We disagree about certain things, but I usually enjoy reading her books anyway. So she was, let me see, what was her exact, she was the daughter of, I think she was the daughter of Margaret, Henry VIII's sister, I think. Is there, let's see. I'm almost sure, but I don't want to say that and be all, yes, so Henry VIII, they had Margaret Tudor, yes, in her, I think, second marriage to Archibald Douglas. Yes, okay, so I was right, but I just wanted to make sure. So she is she never became queen, obviously, but she definitely has a lot to do with who is on the throne right now. And an interesting life, a couple of, like, secret marriages and, intrigue and stuff like that, but somehow pretty well liked by Henry VIII. That's not easy to be, but there were some people who somehow got away with a bit of things, right? In that time period. So last but not least, this was $6, I think. And it's a pretty new book. I'm doing the thing where I turn it again. But the copyright is 2020, July of 2020. So pretty new. I thought it was pretty new, but it's just because he died last year. So this is up my alley too. Because I like biographies. I like autobiographies and memoirs. This is Alex Trebek. The answer is ... Reflections on My Life. Alex Trebek, if you don't know, which is possible, was the host of Jeopardy for well over 30 years. Since the mid-'80s. As long as I can remember watching Jeopardy, he was the host. He was well known for his mustache for a long time, which sounds like an odd thing, but just because he, Will Ferrell, the actor, played him on, SNL, and he always had that. This is how most people remember him, really. He got sick, and still was making, the last year or so of his life, he was still making new episodes of Jeopardy. He made it to like 80 years old, but still, he had I think pancreatic cancer, which is a very difficult one to get through. And he was hosting and doing his best, and everybody was, watching that was into Jeopardy, and then he died in November last year, and everybody was sad. When I say everybody, I'm talking about like I know how everybody in the world. I'm talking about Jeopardy fans, and it's so hard to think of anyone replacing Alex Trebek. So ever since, shortly after he died, they started taking over by having temporary guest hosts. Most of them come on for about a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, and they've had all kinds of people. They have had kind of newscasters, sports personalities, Jeopardy champions, other actors and actresses, and most recently LeVar Burton. And LeVar Burton is, he's been in many things. He was in Roots, he was in Star Trek The Next Generation, and he was Reading Rainbow. He wasn't Reading Rainbow, but he was in Reading Rainbow. So, a lot of people have been pushing for him to be the next host. I've seen him host. I think he does a pretty good job. I don't know, though, if he'd be the best one, but I wouldn't mind if he was. Anyway, the current, the champion right now, who's been, I think, 4 or 5 days, is just so annoying. Everything is, you're supposed to answer in the form of a question, so it's like, if the answer was, who is Catherine, you'd say, who is Catherine, right? Or, if you're talking about this animal is very furry, and a lot of people are allergic to it, and Catherine has one named Freddie, you say, what is a cat? You know what I mean? Okay, this state in the United States is the state that has Hollywood. Okay, where is California, perhaps? I don't know. You could also say, what is? This guy always, everything he answers is, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? And so it's like, if the thing was, about me, it would be like, what's Catherine? It's so annoying. I don't know why that annoys me. So I'm waiting for him. Anyway, it's a total whatever, but sometimes some of the regulars are just annoying. It was really sad, though, at the end of Alex Trebek's life. One of his last big winning champions was this guy. I don't remember his name, but he was, young guy, and he was doing really well. And shortly after Alex Trebek died, he also died. It was really... Jeopardy's been kind of tragic lately. But the show is one of my favorite shows. It's one of the few game shows that I watch, and I love trivia. And it does have a lot of stuff about books that I've read, history and stuff, so I really enjoy Final Jeopardy. Sometimes I get it and other people don't, and it makes me feel so smart. But, so I thought, I've never really known much about his life. I know he was Canadian, so it's about as much as I know about him. So, yeah. And, I'm happy to get this. It's sad, though, because this was someone's gift, and it says, love, Donnie and Terry in it. So this was already a gift, and whoever had this decided to donate it, unless something happened to them. Because, like I said, Jeopardy and tragedy all of a sudden. Anyway, on that very sad note, come to my channel, get book hauls, stay for the Debbie Downers. Anyway, but yeah, so that's my haul for now, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and really, anybody who's read those Oliphant books, let me know if order matters in that particular series, because I could just get started in that at some point, but who knows when I will. So that's all for now. We'll see if we'll have any other hauls anytime soon. I'm kind of hoping not to, because I'm trying to chill a little bit on these jaunts. But until I get a little bit of self-control... This is Catherine at Taking Tea with Catherine. Have a lovely tea and book-filled day.